Count to 20 for me.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
So 3 minutes. You set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay. Ready to look?
Yes. What does that mean?
It means I'm pregnant.
Oh! Oh, at last. There you go. Oh.
Oh my god. I'm pregnant. Look at the pain. Look.
You've just been sat.
Oh my god. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's go for a drink.
Very funny. You can have one for me.
You were ice skating yesterday.
I was ice skating yesterday. Imagine if I'd fallen.
It's fine, isn't it?
Oh my god. I can't believe it. As if I'm pregnant. Oh my god. I did not think that would happen. Good morning. So this is going to be my first trimester vlog. I have avoided filming this week because honestly, I'm finding it difficult for it to sink in that I'm pregnant, and it feels weird me vlogging it almost as if I film this, it's going to go live and you're all going to find out right now. This video, obviously, I'm going to put a little disclaimer. Of course, it's going to be talking about pregnancy, and I understand this is a very sensitive topic. I also understand, like so many people experience loss and difficult times conceiving, and it's a really like sensitive topic, and I don't want to upset anyone ever or trigger anyone ever, so I'm just giving this disclaimer that I'm going to be very, very open about my experiences. So if that's going to make you feel horrible or make you feel upset, if you've had a hard time with conceiving or you've experienced loss, then you can skip this one. Maybe you wouldn't click on it anyway, but yeah, I just want to put that out there because I really care a lot about so many of you, and the last thing I'd ever want to do would be another person, because I know that when I was trying to conceive, seeing the amount of people getting pregnant and stuff really made me feel like, ugh. So I am 4 weeks at the minute, like 4.5 weeks, nearly 5 weeks. So it's really, really early. So I have got symptoms, but I'm also really just scared because I'm an anxious person. I knew I would be this way. I'm really scared about it not being a viable pregnancy because I knew I'd feel this way, because I know that there are so many risks, but I'm trying to remind myself to focus on the positive and just experience this as it happens, because most pregnancies do end in a healthy pregnancy, and that's what I've got to just focus on. So we found out last week, I think it was on a Thursday. Was it a Thursday? Can't really remember actually, but we found out, and we've just been in a kind of like a nice little bubble. It was quite good timing in a way because Alex's dad came to visit. So I know lots of people choose to not tell family until like 12 weeks or their second trimester. I made the decision that I wanted to tell family and friends because I know that if something did happen, I would tell them anyway. I'd want them to know. I would want their support, and I can't imagine me going through that and not talking to them about it. So we both felt that way. We both wanted to include them in this experience. I decided to tell everyone, and everyone was very happy. My sister and Tom, we told first, and they were very excited, and they said that they kind of knew. Because we saw my family the day before, but my dad wasn't there, so I thought he was going to be there, and so we had to postpone telling them. So we told them the next day, and my sister said, she's like, I thought that you were, because you asked about where he was, and you were like asking a couple of times, and then you were like looking at Alex, and I was holding my my niece, who's just like a month and a half now, so she's obviously such a tiny baby, and she's like, she just was watching me look at her, and she just thought, I bet she's pregnant. So we told them the next day, and they were very excited. And then we were like at a market, so you You may have seen this in Vlogmas, that market we went to at Tregenna Castle. That's what we told them. And then we went back to my parents and told them afterwards. And they were very shocked. My dad especially, I remember seeing his face. He was like, what? So that was lovely. And we just sat and chatted about it for a while. And then Alex's dad was coming to visit. So we told him and he was very excited. And then we told Alex's brother, who's actually in China right now. But we FaceTimed him and told him as well. And he was very excited. And it was just really nice to tell everybody and share this with them. Obviously, it makes me feel nervous sometimes, I think, and wonder if I've made the right decision telling everyone now. I want to go through this in a really positive mindset. I know my mentality. I know how I am. And I think that if I was dealing with this alone, I would go a bit mad and I would really ruminate. So it really helps me to be able to speak to people about it. So I've been messaging my mum and sister about like symptoms and how I'm feeling. And it's really, really helped me to just remain calm and not overthink. So let me get into the symptoms that I've been experiencing so far. So before I got pregnant, the main symptom that I had was just feeling a bit vertigo-y. So this was the first thing that I noticed, that I had these very, very occasional like moments where I was like stood in the kitchen or I'd stand up and I'd be a bit like, oh, but like for a split second. And that's not something I ever get, because the issue is with some pregnancy symptoms is that some of the pregnancy symptoms are very in line with PMS. So things like I had achy boobs, I had like really just the feeling of like, not cramps, but like the heavy feeling in your pelvic region. What have I written down? Kind of like hot flushes. I had hot flushes, needing to go to the toilet a bit more, like, and feeling just a bit more emotional. All of those things for me are quite common pre-period anyway. I was kind of like, well, this could just be my period. But I did notice the vertigo was the one thing that stood out as something different. So yeah, that stood out to me, and it did make me think, am I pregnant? Because I don't ever experience, like literally never have that symptom, ever. And then another thing that I never have is I had a kind of metallic taste in my mouth, which obviously is very known to be an early pregnancy thing. I was in the garage working, I had a sip of water, and I was like, specifically with water for me, I was like, what is that? That tastes really metallic. I ran inside and I was like, Alex, I've got a metallic taste in my mouth. And he was like, oh my gosh, really? And this was about a week before my period was due. And I was like, oh my goodness, could that be pregnancy? But then I was like, maybe it's just because I'm thirsty and I've not had a drink in a while, you know, and you have a drink and it's like, you know, taste more because my mouth was dry. I also did feel quite tired. I've written down that I felt quite tired, but that again also is kind of similar to PMS. So I didn't really think of it as much. I just thought, oh, you know, I'm just tired because PMS. I did have a sharp twinge in my tummy about a week before finding out. And I know that some people feel implantation. We were at the cinema seeing Gladiator 2. And I remember being in the cinema and just feeling it on one side, or was it kind of like in the middle, like kind of almost near my back, where it just has this like sharp twinge. And that also is something I don't really ever experience. I do sometimes feel ovulation, but that feels more like a cramp. But this was very specifically a twinge. And I remember literally going, oh, in the cinema, and I was a bit embarrassed because it was like a cinema and you have to be quiet. And I was like, oh, what's that? And I had to kind of be like it was a pain. I also was going to the toilet more poos. Obviously this video is going to be TMI. I'm not afraid of TMI. I will just talk honestly about these sorts of things because I don't see why it matters, to be honest. We're all friends here. Yeah, and then I also had some very vivid dreams. I had 2 dreams this month of just very, very vivid, very, very like detailed dreams that felt like I was there. Usually it's related to stress if I'm having very vivid dreams, but I had it like 2 nights in a row where I kind of half woke up and fell back asleep because I was feeling tired, which is probably why I was dreaming, because that's when you have your like, is it like your REM sleep where you're not fully asleep, so that's when you dream, so that's probably why. But they were so vivid, it felt real, and they were kind of like nightmares, and I woke up and it took me like a full minute to understand that it wasn't actually happening. I also did have a panic attack. I haven't had a panic attack in a really long time. That is kind of slightly scaring me because a panic attack is quite an extreme feeling of adrenaline and emotion. And that really scares me in terms of like me taking care of myself and just, yeah, fear of being pregnant and what you know, what could or couldn't happen. Like, it does worry me that I did have a panic attack and I should just move on, because I've obviously taken pregnancy tests since then and I'm fine. But yeah, it was over something that wasn't usually something that would make me feel that emotional. It was something that was stressful, but it quickly escalated to a panic attack. And that's just something that I haven't experienced in a really long time, because I've been feeling a lot better. And then I also had this funny feeling of feeling very spaced out. 2 nights in a row, I was lying in bed watching the TV and I really desperately wanted Alex to come upstairs because I was feeling really funny, like I was outside of myself. Like I wasn't in the room, but I was there. That also was a bit like, what's going on? Why do I feel like this? It was almost just like I just felt weird. I can't really describe it any better than that. I feel like it's one of those things I don't have the language to explain what I mean, but I just felt weird. Everything, like the room felt weird, I felt weird, and I felt kind of like I was outside of myself. So those are the symptoms I've had pre-finding out. And then since finding out I've been pregnant, this last week, so week 4 to week 5, I've had sore boobs, the metallic taste in my mouth has stayed, I've had quite a strong sense of smell. I felt quite tired, like around 3 or 4 o'clock, I just have this overwhelming urge to just have a nap. I have had a couple of hot flashes, not bad, but a couple. Needing to wee all the time, like constantly needing to wee. I have pooed more than I've ever pooed in my life, and it's not diarrhea. I've looked it up and everyone else seems to experience constipation or diarrhea. My poos are fine, but I'm just doing it a lot, which I thought was very strange. I was thinking, well, I'm not eating more, so what's going on? So that's weird, and I haven't actually seen that listed as a symptom anywhere. So I wanted to share it. I know it's TMI, but if you have that too, I have, been pooing a lot more. I did have a very slight pain in my boob yesterday. I've had a very, very mild lower back pain, but I also think that maybe was just because I was sitting on my computer all day. Sometimes I do get that. Yesterday I had unbelievable hunger, like I was getting very hangry, but also again, that is something I do sometimes have. So that can just be on a day when you've like been out and not eaten enough and you just get really hangry. So not very like unusual for me. And then the last couple of days, I have felt very, very slightly nauseous. Like, I wouldn't say anything to write home about, nothing like, oh my gosh, I feel really sick, I can't eat. But I just have this underlying kind of feeling of being very, very, very slightly, like I feel it now. I feel very, very slightly nauseous, like a mild nausea. And that metallic taste in my mouth is kind of contributing to it. Like, it's kind of a bit like, ooh. And then a weird one, this is one that I didn't see either. I had this very strange, like, thudding sound in my ear. This could be unrelated as well, because I need to maybe get my ears cleaned. I'm going to book that in to see if that helps. But it was kind of like tinnitus, not the heartbeat tinnitus, because I did Google this as well. The health anxiety is coming back in full force. So it feels like I really need to be careful of that. But yeah, some people apparently experience the heartbeat in their ear. It wasn't that, it was like a tapping, thudding. Could be just increased blood flow or something. It's gone away now, so I'm grateful it's gone away now, but it lasted about 2 days and then it went away a bit and then it came back and now it's gone. It may come back later. Yeah, and then probably like the health anxiety thing, because if you don't know, I have in the past experienced quite severe health anxiety, which is a form of OCD, and I had CBT therapy for it and I also saw a psychologist. It was quite severe. I'm sure lots of you can relate when you feel worried about your health and you can Google stuff and it can make you feel more worried. The kind that I experienced was debilitating, where I couldn't get on with my life and my days, and it ended up in lots of depression and anxiety. And the reason it's OCD, or goes into the level of OCD, is because it was an obsession of checking and reassurance, which is not great, and it's a mental health condition. So I have a lot of fear now of the balance between Googling this kind of stuff and obviously being afraid of things like miscarriage and losing a baby and all that sort of stuff, trying to keep that in check. And I'm trying really hard to remember the things that I learned through CBT. So not reassurance seeking too much. I think it's fine to have a little Google sometimes. I think that could be helpful. You know, obviously I'm experiencing pregnancy, so I should, you know, have a little look. I've gone on a few forums, but I have to really check in with myself that I'm not letting it go any further than that, or I'm not panicking about anything. And that's another reason that I did want to tell family and friends, because I know I have a history with mental health that I need to like make sure I'm feeling supported. Do you know what? I obviously am feeling emotional, because did you hear my voice waver then? I'm feeling on the verge of tears about nothing really. I mean, I'm talking about mental health, but like, yeah. So that's another thing that I'll keep you updated on that. But I am slightly worried about the whole process of seeing midwives, getting blood tests, you know, ultrasounds and doctors, and waiting on results. Like I am quite concerned. It's always been something I've been very worried about when it comes to pregnancy, of that triggering my health anxiety and it going back to that place, because it was a very dark time in my life. It was very hard, so I don't want it to. I believe in myself though. I think that because pregnancy is something I've always wanted and I'm so excited, I really do believe in myself that I can use everything that I've learnt and have a positive experience and be proud of myself that I've you know, taken on what I know now about health anxiety and applied it during this pregnancy so it can be a positive one. So that's my 4-ish week update. It's probably going to be the longest update because I feel like it's the first, like, oh, I'm pregnant. My friend also is pregnant. She's like a bit further along than me. So I'm so excited to tell her and us to be pregnant at the same time. And she's just had her scan. So I can't wait to tell her and we can just live this roller coaster together. Hello, this is Maddie at 17 weeks interrupting the video. I'm in the nursery to be. Can't wait to do this room. And I'm just introducing the paid partnership for this video, which is BetterHelp. I mentioned throughout this video, I'm not sure whether I've mentioned it already in the video, but I do talk about mental health during pregnancy and how that has impacted me. So during pregnancy, I was quite nervous about how I would feel and how my mental health would change. I definitely feel better now. I'm in the 2nd trimester. I'm definitely like feeling much more like myself, less I guess impacted by those really hormonal extremes which I was feeling, and I definitely share in this video. But during the 1st trimester, your hormones are so different and they are so all over the place that your mental health can take a turn, especially if you're someone who experiences things like anxiety, depression and any other mental health disorder, or even just someone who experiences low mood or who gets easily stressed out. Pregnancy is gonna really affect you in that way. For some people it doesn't, and for some people they feel incredible, but everyone is so different, and mental health is a big part of it, not just your physical health during pregnancy. So when I first went to speak with a midwife in my 1st trimester, I mentioned to her that my anxiety was quite bad and my depression was bad. There is support through your midwives and through the NHS that you can seek, but if that isn't suitable for you, then BetterHelp could be a really great option. I personally have started up therapy again. I had taken a break from therapy because I've had a lot of therapy in the past. During the 1st trimester, I realised that I needed that support again because I was really feeling just not myself and feeling upended by the whole emotion of pregnancy. So I went back to doing therapy via BetterHelp. If you have no idea what BetterHelp is, and this is your first time hearing of them, it's an online service. So it's all done online on your phone or on your computer. It's basically just like an app that's really easy to use. You're connected with a therapist who is there to help you with your own personal struggle. So if it is related to pregnancy, if it's related to relationships, if it's related to a specific mental health problem, whatever it is, they're going to pair you with a therapist that fits that need. How it works is you do a really quick questionnaire. This answers questions about yourself, what you're personally going through, but also what you would prefer from a therapist and also your mental health currently. You get paired with a therapist really fast, usually within 48 hours. You also can swap therapists if you don't feel like they're the right fit for you, which is a really great bonus because that chemistry is very important, that you feel comfortable speaking to the person that you're speaking with. They make sure that all their therapists are very well qualified and they have a customer care support team who's there to answer any questions that you have. They also have over 7,000 reviews on Trustpilot with a 4.5 rating. So if you are pregnant, if you're a mum to be, if you are postpartum, if you're a mum and you are experiencing these lows from your hormones or just from the experience of your life changing, this whole dramatic switch, which can be very overwhelming, I'd really recommend BetterHelp as a way of support during this time. It's really, really important that we have that support because it can be very isolating and lonely being pregnant. I know that that's one of the feelings I felt at the start, that I felt very lonely. Even though I had my husband, I had people around me, it does very much feel like you're in your own head and you're in your own body and nobody else understands, even though lots of people do. It just feels very lonely, and I'm assuming that's to do with the hormones. And it has been such a comfort to have therapy during this time so I can actually target what is going on and speak to somebody who is a professional about those feelings. So if you open the description box down below and click the link, you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp, and I'd really recommend you give it a go. And I'm really here for you, for any of you who are going through it with your mental health during pregnancy. It is tough, it is tough. Right, back to the video. Good afternoon. It feels weird to be vlogging this because I feel like I'm being deceptive. So today is the first day of Vlogmas. I picked up my camera, it's Saturday the 30th of November, and I am embarking on Vlogmas and my first trimester. Great timing, really planned that one out. To be honest, I thought we would be, I don't know, I thought we would be pregnant last month, so I thought that it would be fine by this point, but hey ho, you know, I'll give it my best shot. If I don't make it all the way through Vlogmas, then that's life. You know, lots of people give up on Vlogmas. Fingers crossed I'll feel okay, though I feel like I've watched quite a few of these first trimester vlogs and people will say, oh, I'm feeling great, and then the next week it's like they're completely ill and they look pale and they can barely speak and they've been having the worst time. So I really hope that doesn't happen to me. Anyway, I'm officially 5 weeks today and I am feeling very emotional, even though I'm sounding chipper here. That ain't the truth, because this morning I have had the biggest cry I have had in so long. I was literally crying my eyes out. Me and Alex had an argument and I was just crying my eyes out because I'm feeling super hormonal and emotional. It's really difficult because when you feel that way, you just want like love and support from your partner, and it's really difficult for them to understand. And obviously Alex is great, I'm not saying that, but I feel like it's very normal when you're feeling this way to end up having disagreements and then you can't really tolerate it, or you can't really like deal with it, because it's normal usually if you have a disagreement or you upset each other, you can kind of move on. But I'm feeling so hormonal that I was just crying my eyes out and just feeling really like stressed about being pregnant. Had this feeling of feeling alone. I do kind of feel bad sorry for Alex, because he's probably thinking, oh my god, like he was actually being very lovely afterwards and trying to make me feel better, and this is not like a reflection on him at all. I'm just sharing this because I feel like it's pretty normal. I was feeling very, very tired, so I feel like my symptoms are the same. Very tired, I need to wee all the time, my boobs really hurt. It essentially feels like PMS. It feels like PMS, but more extreme for me. I really hope I can keep going. I'm going to maintain my routine. That's what's helping me a lot. I have this sort of time in the morning to myself, which really makes me feel quite happy and positive for the day. And I think if I lose the ability to do that, I think that will mess me up, because it really does help me. So I wake up in the morning quite early so that I can have those hours to myself. I will go next door and exercise. I'm just doing what I feel like yoga. This morning I did pregnancy yoga. I've been doing a bit of at home like weights, and I also do Pilates, and I just sort of pick what I want to do that day based on how I'm feeling, and then I go on a nice walk with Roxy, and I have my breakfast and I walk Roxy, and it's a really nice way to start the day because it feels like I'm nourishing and looking after myself first thing. So if you're able to do that, make sure you're looking after yourself when you're pregnant, because I feel like that can easily slip, and I am afraid of that slipping. But I think what I'm going to do is, depending on how I feel, obviously, I'll do some version of it, even if it's just sitting down next door and meditating, or sitting there with like a quiet and peaceful song, doing a few stretches. I really want to maintain that, and we'll see how I get on, because I feel like it would make me feel better, even if it's just taking Roxy for a loop around the garden, if I'm not able to like go on a long walk, if I'm feeling quite sick. I think that some version of that is important for me to maintain, to feel good. But I'm going to have to flip back to Vlogmas now, because we're going to get our Christmas tree, and I'll update you for week 6 on how I've been feeling this week. Good morning. I'm just getting ready for another day, and it's officially 6 weeks today. Week 5 dragged so much because I've been feeling like it's 6 weeks for so long. So let me tell you my symptoms this week. I have just started to get morning sickness. I think before I had like little bits of nausea, maybe I've mentioned, but this, or yesterday even, I felt like the sort of real sickness. So I woke up, we were actually in St Michael's Resort, if you watched Vlogmas, and I woke up just, yeah, literally feeling like hungover, like when you've had a lot to drink and you wake up and you feel like you're salivating a lot, you feel like, should I go over to the toilet? I hadn't had that feeling before. I'd only felt like, oh, I feel a bit funny in my tummy, not like actually, I was like, oh God. And I was sipping on water, I had a bit of a cereal bar and just took it easy. And yeah, I just did not feel well. And now I've got a cold from my niece, I think. Maybe I'm more susceptible to that now I'm pregnant, because I haven't had a cold in a really long time. I think the last time I was ill, I had COVID in the summer. So week 5, I've noted sore boobs. That's been consistent throughout. My boobs have also just got bigger. My nipples are bigger. I also feel like I've gained weight. I don't know if that's because I'm seeing myself differently. I have body dysmorphia, so I really struggle to see my body. I don't know if I'm showing or not, or if I've just been eating more food, or if it's a hormonal weight gain. I have no idea, but I feel like I've gained weight. I can see it in my face when I'm watching my vlogs back. My stomach looks huge, like I look constantly bloated, and I can't be showing yet because it's like 6 weeks. That's kind of making me feel quite sad because it's something I knew I would struggle with. I have gone through quite a lot when it comes to my body and my weight with an eating disorder in the past and all that sort of stuff, and I really hate to say it, but for a lot of years, and this is so sad to admit because people might hate me for this or say that's ridiculous, I don't know, or maybe you relate. I had it for years where I put off the idea of trying to get pregnant because I didn't feel like I had my ideal body. And I always used to think, you know, I'm gonna like get really fit, really healthy, get really slim and look like that, you know, ideal body type. And then I can like savor that and experience that before I get pregnant and ruin my body. Or before I get pregnant and then like get really fat because pregnancy changes your body. If I've got that like fit, small, healthy body to begin with, when I get pregnant, I'll be one of those pregnant women who just have like a pregnant belly, but they still look really great. And that's so many years of just being indoctrinated with that idea and just seeing that on social media and putting so much pressure on myself. Like I would be lying if I told you Alex and I might have had a baby sooner had I not had those issues. Not only to mention that your body confidence affects your sex life because it makes you feel really unconfident in who you are. And yeah, I feel sad in some ways now, like my mental health is coming back in kind of critiquing my body before it's even really changed that much, and feeling really like afraid of what my body's going to look like in the coming months, and being afraid of being like a fat pregnant woman and like not having a proper pregnant belly, like it not looking that different because I feel overweight. It's kind of, I guess, like showing my bump and if it's going to look funny because because of the shape of my stomach. All these sorts of thoughts are coming to my mind because of the way my stomach looks right now, because I feel like I've gained weight and I just don't feel very confident in how I look currently. So yeah, that all could be hormonal though, but yeah, I've written down extremely hormonal, tears and irritability on another level more than PMS, because there have been a few times this week where I've really just felt another level of irritable. I also couldn't stop sneezing. That could have been the start of my cold though, so yeah. Digestion is funny, sometimes a little constipated, sometimes a little diarrhea. Yeah, that's kind of been on and off. It just kind of reminds me of the days when I used to have IBS, when my stomach was a bit all over the place. Nausea more in the mornings, midweek, increased feeling of needing the loo. Yeah, and like I said, I've had morning sickness properly, I think, yesterday and today a little bit. My breakfast, I was eating it, I was a bit like, you know what, this is not my vegan omelette that I've had for years, not years, for like a year or two, pretty much every single day. I was eating it and I was like, oh, I just don't know if this is the breakfast I want anymore. And I was just craving like toast with Marmite. So maybe the brown food days are coming. I have been having anxiety and scary dreams. I'm thinking of speaking to my therapist again, or going back to therapy, because I have had a little break in therapy recently. I don't want it to then get worse, because I know that you're more susceptible if you're pregnant and it's hormonal and those kind of things, like postnatal depression. I've just been having very vivid dreams that I wake up and I feel so anxious. Like I wake up in just such an anxious state, like I'm panicking, I'm thinking something awful has happened. I think that the dream is real. I think someone's died. I lay there in bed like, oh my goodness, and I'm feeling extremely anxious. That is something I've had in the past though. That's something I dealt with for a really long time, where I'd wake up in a really like anxious state, like my heart was racing and I'd be like panicking to check my phone that my parents had messaged me that something awful's happened, or I had missed phone calls, that kind of stuff. And that's kind of coming back. So something that I need to keep a check on. I'm really glad that I'm aware of that now and I know what's happening, because I think before I felt out of control of it. So that's my 6-week update. Let me show you, I feel like this video is going to be 100 years long because all my updates are so long. So let me show you what baby looks like. This is the Pregnancy Plus app, which I've shown you already, which is amazing. So this is what it looks like now. And then if you click the little ruler symbol, it shows you the actual size. So it is like an actual size now, which is really interesting. So I don't have one of those apps that says what size it's like, or maybe it does say it on here. Oh, it does say it on my Clue app. Actually, let's look at Clue. So Clue says it's the size of a raindrop. That's very sweet. Anyway, there's my 6-week update. So we'll see how I feel next week. Overall, generally, it just feels like I'm on my period. We'll see how I get on with morning sickness, because I know it can kick in week 7 and 8, so we'll see. Good morning. I wanted to share a little quick 6-week update midweek, because I'm here working and I am struggling. I feel so sick. And having never experienced this before, I'm like, how do people work while they feel like this? Because I woke up this morning and I felt so sick and I had 2 crackers. I then still felt sick, so I had an apple. I then did some pregnancy yoga. I've been doing yoga with Adrian. I tried a couple of other ones, but I found them not... I just found them quite intense. There's one I tried, I think it was Boho Beautiful, when it was like pregnancy yoga, like gentle pregnancy yoga. It was not gentle, and all the comments were like, this is not gentle, this is a workout. It was like Pilates, like a proper workout. So I like yoga with Adrian because she's very calm and it's very slow and relaxing. So I did that this morning because I did that a week ago and I really liked it. And that temporarily made that kind of morning sickness feeling go away. Then the second I stopped, I felt sick again. So if you feel quite sick, try that yoga. I'll leave it linked because it's very gentle, and you can also, she gives you lots of modifications. So for example, if you're doing like warrior with your hands in the air, you don't have to. She said you can just put your hands on your hips. So it feels very like you're just moving your body. You're not really doing anything strenuous, and it does help you to like breathe through the pain, not the pain, the sickness. And then I went back inside, had a piece of toast with Marmite, and that definitely did make me feel quite a lot better. That's like a safe food for me right now. And then I walked Roxy outside. That really helped, fresh air. My house right now is quite stuffy because I find that in winter with the Arga on, the heating on, there was like, we've got our litter tray and I can't change it because I don't think you can change that kind of thing when you're pregnant. And it smelt because Zeus had been to the loo, and I just was like, oh my God, I felt so sick. So I was so grateful to get outside, and it's really crisp and cold today. So that made me feel a lot better. And then when I came home, it just came back again. And I was like, what do? You just need to just be like walking around. Like I feel slightly better talking to you because I'm like doing something I suppose distracting. And the funny thing is I have watched other first trimester vlogs where they're literally like ashen and they can barely speak. So obviously I'm fine because look at me, I'm okay. I know it's going to probably kick up a notch. So yeah, I'm just constantly salivating. After that I had a bit of yogurt and raspberries because the eating little and often is really helping. I cannot stop burping. Yesterday it made me feel so sick because I constantly was burping and had so much gas, and today I'm really going to make an effort to eat very small amounts of foods often so I don't have that as much, because I did Google it and it did seem to say having bigger meals can cause that to happen. And I just had a packet of plain crisps. I'll show you, well, I did a Waitrose order which was kind of tailored to the fact that I'm really craving like fresh foods and things like crackers and plain stuff. Yeah, it's been probably about half an hour since I had that packet of crisps. I'm feeling sick again and I'm sipping on sparkling water, but like I don't know what to do because I just feel like I'm trying to like work and I'm just like, oh God. I'm doing Vlogmas. Could have done with getting pregnant the month after or the month before, to be honest. I'm laughing at this food shop because this was obviously when I was having food aversions, because I was just saying to Alex, this is as if I'm on a diet because this is so healthy. We've got just like literally just fruit, veg, crackers, lentil chips.
This is the good stuff.
Like yogurt, and that's it. Like what the hell? Usually we have like crisps, or we have maybe some vegan burgers or some, I don't know, like chocolate or just like this, or like there's more variety. Yeah. This is like so like, oh yes, I want some sweet potato crunchy cracker thins. But honestly, when I was shopping, I could think of nothing worse than anything but like cucumber and fresh food. Like I was looking at because I know that I probably will have a beige phase. Everyone does. I know my sister was like, yeah. She just was craving like burgers and chips, and I'm certain that will come because that's something that I usually love. But yeah, I think this is so interesting. Maybe next week I'll start to crave the chips and the burgers. But time for some more toasts because I feel sick. So I'm making myself some buttery pasta, maybe with a little bit of vegan cheese, because today might be one of the worst days. Yesterday, this is all in Vlogmas, I'm having to like be really like secretive, and it's really hard for me to like pick up the camera, to be honest, because I can barely breathe through the sickness. I'm like swaying because last night I had a craving for a burger, but it made me feel so sick. I ate too much, and I learnt the other day that that is when the sickness becomes worse. If I eat too much in one go, I need to have little and often. I woke up in the middle of the night with stomach cramps and desperate for the loo, and I had just the worst night's sleep because of it. Just such bad stomach pain and digestion. Not a fun evening, and obviously that's probably a combination of pregnancy, potentially also just the food I ate. I don't think my stomach particularly loves processed meat like burgers, and so I feel so sick today. It could just be a coincidence though. This could just be me getting closer to week 7. So all I could stomach is this pasta with some butter. Alex was like, do you want me to get you an orange, an apple? Because those were foods I was loving last week. Marmite on toast. I opened the fridge and it stinks. Ugh. So this is the stage I'm at now. Maybe this is what I'm going to be living off.
I'm fishing for the truth.
Roxy. Hello, beautiful. They always come over to say hi, don't they? Probably because they think that they're going to be fed. I'm very sorry you're not going to be fed, but I'll chat to you. Oh, I like your coat. Hello. Hi. I want to stroke their snoots. Good afternoon. It is 7 weeks and 3 days today. I keep intending to do these updates the day I change into a new week, but that's never going to happen with me, is it? Because I just forget. So yeah, 7 weeks, 3 days, and the morning sickness has really amped up. It's not morning sickness, it's all day sickness. It is 4 p.m. now, and this is the first time today that I haven't felt so sick. I still feel sick, but it's not so severe. I was just saying to Alex, I was just like, I'm really not loving pregnancy at the moment because it's taking a lot of things from me, because I can't have baths, and baths are my favourite thing in the world. They really help me calm down and stay relaxed. I've tried having the warm bath and I just end up freezing. And I'm too paranoid to put the temperature higher, because I know some people would say, well, then you're probably fine because it's more about you raising your own body temperature. But I'm too paranoid. So I'm not gonna push it any further. I like put it at the temperature that they advise that's safe, and I sit there shivering pretty much. But I can't enjoy food at the minute. Food is no fun because I feel so sick all the time. I'm having to eat really plain foods. So I'm having to have like toast for breakfast, which is fine, but I do miss my, well, the idea of it now makes me actually want to be sick, but my vegan omelette and my smoothie, I used to love that, but I could not even fathom the idea of that now. And then, you know, having my leftovers of whatever we cooked for dinner for lunch was such a lovely thing I always enjoyed. Whereas today I just had, well, I'm trying to make sure I'm putting some variety into my diet, but it's very much more plain. So today I had pita with hummus, salad and some tofu, and that was kind of it. I couldn't really tolerate much more. I've had some salt and vinegar rice cakes and some frozen grapes. They are such a good thing to have because they really calm my stomach. I feel like I saw someone mention this somewhere. The sort of frozenness of them helps you feel like maybe it's the coldness that really like calms your stomach, and just the fact that you have to eat them really slowly. So there's something about I feel like you have to be eating all the time in order for the nausea to go away, but I don't want to be eating because I can't sit and eat crackers, because after about 3 of them it's a bit like stodgy. But then for dinner I'm like, I don't know what to eat. None of the food I usually appeals. Like obviously, you know, I'm such a lover of food and I have a variety of foods every week. I love to cook all the different foods, and yet all I want to have is just rice, tofu, cucumber, and then maybe some pasta, some very simple pasta. Like, meat alternatives sound disgusting to me. Vegan cheese sounds disgusting to me. Like anything overly spicy or like too flavourful. Just, I can't. I'm not enjoying this at the minute because I'm sick all the time. I can't get my work done. I missed our first day of Vlogmas yesterday, which really annoyed me because I didn't want that to happen. I feel like I can't do as much for work stuff because I can't put my all into it. It's the last week of work for me, and I suppose knowing that I'm so close to that end, I'm like really giving up and it's stressing me out. I've got deadlines I have to meet. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling sorry for myself. This is me moaning, by the way. I'm having a moan because I don't want to come on here and pretend that everything's fine, but also I'm not moaning for sympathy or to sound ungrateful. I'm just being honest. This is how I'm feeling. Maybe it's hormonal too, because I'm finding myself becoming very impatient and irritable about stuff. I just want to lie on the sofa and watch Below Deck. And I'm annoyed that I can't. I'm annoyed that I have to work and do stuff, which is, me saying that out loud sounds really stupid and ungrateful and like, get a grip, Maddie, because everyone has to work. But I'm sure, I feel like every pregnant woman will have felt this when they've had to go to work and they're just like, I really don't want to be doing this. I just want to be lying on a sofa. I feel so sick. And you have to pretend that you're not sick because you don't want to tell anyone. So we've all been there. Whoever of you watching this who's pregnant, you've been there. Me showing up on camera is the same as you showing up into an office and having to pretend that you're not feeling ill if you've not told everyone yet. I have decided to take 2 full weeks off over Christmas so that I can fully lay about and relax and just get over this period, because I'll be 10, 11 weeks after that. I think I have put it on my calendar. Well, when I come back to work, I'll just be 10 weeks. So I think that's usually when the sickness starts to reduce a little bit. Fingers crossed. We have got our scan this weekend. I booked the scan, and we've also got my midwife appointment next week. So that's like right before Christmas. So that will make me feel hopefully better for Christmas, having done that, seen the baby. I'm very nervous because I'm worried that I'm not actually pregnant for some stupid reason, or that like there's going to be something really badly wrong. But yeah, we also told my friends the other day. So I had already told my family, but I've told two more of my friends and their partners. So like a group of us went for a nice meal. So I had to tell the girls, and then told their partners too. And it's lovely because my friend is also pregnant, so we can be pregnant at the same time. She's 14 weeks now, so we've got like a gap between us, but it means that we'll be on maternity leave together and we'll have kids who are like very similar in age. And then obviously my sister, who's recently had a baby, they'll all be in the same year at school, so hopefully they'll all be close and they'll all know each other growing up, and that's really lovely. But I'm feeling moany and miserable, to be honest, because my routine isn't normal, and I really struggle with that. Like my morning routine, I love to get up and exercise and walk Roxy and have my breakfast, all that kind of stuff, and it feels so lovely. And some days I've been doing that and I've really been trying to keep it up. But some days when I can't do it, it really bothers me and it just throws me off. Like today I couldn't. I just was lying here because I was so close. I was hovering over the toilet. Luckily I haven't been sick yet, but I've been feeling very sick. And I was just like, oh, I just want to be able to do my normal thing. But then I have to remember, you can't because you're pregnant. It's a good life lesson, to be honest, for me. Good lesson to grow up and understand that routines can't always be there, and you just have to roll with the punches and go with it. Here is what baby looks like now. Can you see? These are the best snack. Frozen grapes.
So, you're definitely pregnant. That's baby there. Can you see the heart pumping away?
No.
Yeah, can you see that pulsation there?
Oh yeah.
The ovaries.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Sorry.
Right there.
Wow.
Now stay still. We'll listen to baby's heartbeat. Hold your breath. Breathe away. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm trying then. Breathe all the way out. And hold it there. Relax your tummy. That's better. And hold. Relax your tummy again. You're tensing up.
It's because I'm crying. I just like.
Alright, we'll do that later on. Right, we'll take a measurement here to see how far along you are. 16.1 millimeters. That's baby's length.
Yeah.
It's coming out to 8 weeks on the dot. Right, breathe away. And stay still. Hold your breath. And relax. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Good.
Got it in the end. We have just had our scan, our 8 to 14 week dating scan, and everything is all good. Oh, I feel so relieved. I immediately started crying as soon as they came up on the screen. He said, strong heartbeat, definitely pregnant. I have a tilted uterus. What did you say? Retroverted? I kind of thought I knew that I did anyway because my sister does, and the shape of my stomach, I've always kind of known that. Complete relief. And he did have to push quite hard to find it because he was like, usually it's a bit higher, you can see it, but he said with an ultrasound, if you've got a retroverted pelvis, it can be slightly harder to see over the top, whereas if you had an internal scan, it would be the same. But he said what did he say? It's quite normal. He said it's just a normal thing that some people have. Yeah. It's not like a bad thing.
He was very calm.
Yeah,
relaxed.
it was like a very dim room.
Yeah.
And beforehand, I was so nervous. I've been so panicking.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have twins, and I was panicking that I wasn't going to be pregnant, that they weren't going to have a heartbeat, that they weren't going to be able to see it. But the heartbeat was so fast. It was like.
I think I got that on camera.
I cried and. I struggled to get the heartbeat at first, I think, because I was breathing heavily and I was moving around too much. She's like, you need to relax your stomach, because I was tense.
You're tense, yeah.
Because I feel so tense. I'm like really like, oh my god, it's been on my mind. Good afternoon. I'm sitting here doing my work and I feel so sick, and I was like, I need to do my 10-week update. I haven't seen you since week 8 because we had our break for Christmas, and that included me not vlogging, not working at all. I was very tempted to film a little 9-week clip, but I just thought, do you know what, you're pregnant, you need a rest. It was glorious. I took 2 full weeks off, and most of that time was spent on this sofa. I was just lying here watching Gilmore Girls, Desperate Housewives, cozy movies, doing a puzzle. I deleted social media, so I was doing like Sudoku on my phone and just like fully resting, because do you know what? It's so funny how I don't give myself this permission, but my sister was like, Maddie, take this time, you won't get it back. Because you're in your first trimester, things will ramp up, you've got to go back to work, you're gonna have a baby, and you won't have that time on the sofa, so just enjoy it. And I was like, that's very good advice. I will remember that time. I'm having to keep on, I'm probably editing it out, but I have to keep on taking breaks because one of my symptoms currently is I constantly am burping. The gas and the bloat is insane. I feel very sick. Our last update was our 8-week scan, which made me feel so much better to have that like an official thing, and it was a really nice thing to have before Christmas too, to know that I am actually pregnant, because I did have this fear that like, am I actually pregnant? Obviously I was, but I was worrying. And what's happened since? I had my dating scan booked, so that's next Friday, which is really exciting. My friend who's also pregnant, she just found out the gender of her baby, so I'm very excited to find out the gender of ours now. And it's just, oh, it's making me think all the things about whether I'm gonna have a girl or boy. And then what else? I've just been feeling very sick. The symptoms have like kind of stayed the same. I know at the start they were very different all the time. I'm just currently feeling quite nauseous. I have occasionally the day or two off where I don't feel sick. Over Christmas, actually, luckily I didn't. But generally speaking, I just feel nauseous all day long. I count myself as lucky because I haven't been sick. I know some people are actually sick, but they only have it in the mornings. I have nausea like all day, but I'm not actually sick, which is great. I'm very tired. I'm having awful dreams. And last night I had a horrible dream where like someone in my dream, it was either my mum or my sister, I don't remember, but she screamed like in a bathroom, "Help me!" And it really freaked me out because it woke me up, and I had this like kind of superstitious belief that I had to go check my phone and see if something had happened, if it was some kind of like spiritual, I don't know, message that someone was in danger. Obviously not. I was obviously just very tired and having a nightmare, but it was really horrible. I'm having that quite a lot, like waking up with quite severe anxiety and feeling very like all the time. I am noticing I'm feeling quite self-conscious about my body. That's something that's been like coming up this week for me, feeling lots more negative thoughts about my body and food that I haven't had in a long time, that are making me feel quite triggered. And I'm lucky that I do have those tools. I've learned them from therapy to kind of go, I know what you are, I don't have to listen to you, I can move forward sensibly, but it is quite difficult to be having them regularly when I'm not used to. So that's what's coming up for me this week, probably like a bit of a low mental health week, I'd say. And I think baby is the size of a prune this week, and I'm very excited for next week so I can have my 12-week scan, and well, my dating scan. I'll be 12 weeks the day after, and then I'll be in my second trimester. So I'll feel like, okay, I'm pregnant. I'm in my second trimester, I'm safe, because that is a big anxiety for me, is miscarriage, and yeah, just worrying about what could or couldn't happen, because it just worries me. My mum had lots of miscarriages and she had them at like 12, 13 weeks. It just makes me worried. I'm sure every single pregnant person has this feeling where you're just like afraid of that, and it is a real fear because it happens to a lot of people. So it's probably something that's literally on every woman's mind when they're pregnant in their first trimester. So yeah, I just want to get through this safely and for baby to be all good. So I will come back to you next week, probably for the dating scan, which I'm very much looking forward to, and hopefully everything looks good and healthy. Okay, go. It's not doing anything. Oh, that's a circle. Are you doing that?
No, it's forward and backward.
Are you doing that?
No. I mean, the circle just happened.
No, don't spin it. You got to keep it.
What does that mean? Twins? Or one of each?
You've got to take this seriously.
Intersects if it spins.
Oh my gosh. Right, do it again. So untwist it. Okay. This is a really great camera angle. Okay. It's not doing anything. It is Thursday, the 16th of January, and we're going for my dating scan. Now, this was meant to be happening tomorrow, but we got a text message this morning saying there are available appointments this afternoon. I'm assuming someone cancelled, so ring this number if you want to come in this afternoon. So I immediately was like, I want to go this afternoon because I just want it done. I know we had our 8-week scan, but this scan is actually at the hospital with the NHS, so it feels official, and it's also got the screening, the blood test for like genetic let me read it so I don't get it wrong. It has, because you can opt in or out for this screening. So it has the combined screening with a blood test and an ultrasound scan. So well, hopefully this will be a lovely positive experience, and yeah, I'm quite nervous like last time, probably because of the screening, and yeah, I just want everything to be okay. I've been having symptoms still, so I'm not necessarily worried, but I do have this, like, I go back and forth between having this fear that my symptoms mean that there's something wrong, when actually I'm being silly, because my symptoms are so classic. They're sickness, bloating, that kind of thing, so I need to like calm down. But yeah, we get to see little baby again and hopefully get some pictures and hear the heartbeat. Be excited.
Is this normally the first one?
Yes, normally the first one. So I'm 11 weeks, I'm 12 weeks on Saturday, so I'm a few days off 12 weeks. You have your dating scan between 10 and 12 weeks usually, and then you have another, I think, appointment maybe at 17 weeks or 20 weeks, I can't remember, but this is like the first one, I suppose, that people really think of that solidifies your pregnancy, because you're moving into your second trimester in a couple of weeks' time. We have just had our scan. It's a bit of a dramatic experience actually, because Alex fainted. He's quite squeamish in hospitals, and he has fainted before in hospitals, and the obstetrician, is it oh, I've forgotten what it's called, the eye doctor. We were nearing the end of the scan and we were just chatting about like the heartbeat, and it set him off, I think, and he fainted. It was really horrible to watch. I don't know if anyone's ever seen someone faint, but I hated seeing that. I just wanted him to come to. But he was fine. The midwife was lovely and he got looked after very well. He had some love hearts, got to sit in a nice room. She did point out, you know, it's good exposure therapy. I want more kids in the future. Like, hopefully by the end of this pregnancy, he's going to feel less afraid of hospitals. And we just have to roll with it. He doesn't have a choice in this necessarily with how he feels. Like, that's just, some people just feel that way when it comes to hospitals and blood and stuff. It's literally one of those things. I've said to him, look, don't worry, don't put pressure on yourself. Like, at the scans and stuff, you feel funny, you just need to say, and then you can leave. Like, I pointed out that he's with me for all of my pregnancy, all the time. Like, if he has to miss a 10-minute scan because he doesn't want to faint, like, obviously I'd love it if he didn't have to do that, but it's just the way it is. So it's one of those things, and I don't want him to put pressure on himself, essentially, because I think he feels really bad that happened. Anyway, baby's all good. That's the good thing. And I pointed that out to him afterwards. I said, remember this, that the baby is happy. So it was a good, positive hospital experience. There is baby. You can see little baby there. You can probably see them. And when we first did it, they were like fast asleep on their back. So I had to do all these funny movements, like shake my body around to get the baby to roll on the side. So you get that, she said you need that lovely shape with the head and the tummy and the feet so that she can get the measurement. So measurement, and then she's like 2 feet, 2 hands, nice round head, all good, heartbeat. And then interestingly, I thought that you could hear the heartbeat in these scans, but she said it's not what they do with the NHS because of the frequency or something, but they sometimes do it at private scans, because we had the heartbeat at the 8-week scan, and she said you might hear it at the midwife scan too, because it's just traditionally always been done. But I think apparently they don't do it with the NHS because maybe it's because it's a bit of a risk to do. I have no idea. But we didn't hear the heartbeat, but we saw the heartbeat and had my blood test, and we just got to wait for that screening result. So she said if you don't hear by Wednesday, then it's all good. You'll get a letter basically, but if you get a phone call before Wednesday, you're at a higher risk. So fingers crossed that's all okay. And yeah, I've also been moved forwards. Did I say that? I don't remember. I've been moved forwards. I'm 12 weeks 3 days instead of 11 weeks 4 days. So I've been moved like a week forwards. Am I 11 weeks 4 days or 11 weeks 5 days? I think I'm 11 weeks 5 days. Yeah, I'm 11 weeks 5 days, but I need to change that now. Now I'm 12 weeks 3 days, so my due date has changed, which is amazing. I'm really happy about that. But then as soon as I was like, oh, well, I'm so happy about that because I'm further along and it means I'm closer to my second trimester, which kind of gets you into the sort of phase where you're not going to be feeling so sick, and also the risks go down. But then I was like, oh, work-wise, there's stuff going on with work that makes me feel a bit under pressure now, and like maternity leave and things. And I was like, oh, even though it's literally a few days, so it doesn't make any difference, I'm so excited that all went well. And we're going to go get Pizza Hut because I want to celebrate, and it's my biggest craving I've had I had a few cravings at the start, like cucumbers and red peppers and like very like crisp, fresh foods. I guess like hummus I had a bit of a craving for as well. Like recently I had like red pepper and hummus, pizza bread and hummus, that kind of thing. But the other day I was watching TikTok and I saw someone have a deep dish pizza, which usually I do not like. I'm usually one for the Italian proper traditional pizza, but I saw this girl have like a deep dish pizza and I was like, I want a deep dish proper Pizza Hut pizza. I don't think I've had Pizza Hut since I was about 10. I want like a big thing of like Pepsi, because I haven't had much fast food. I've been very healthy because I'm like afraid, so I've been really healthy and looking after my body and like trying to eat well, which again, no judgment by the way if you're one of those people who's pregnant and eating whatever you like, because everyone feels very different. This is me and my personal experience. Although I did have a craving for burgers at one point. Anyway, let's go get Pizza Hut. I cannot wait to eat this. Oh my goodness, this is such a treat. We literally never do this. Oh, look at this, it's like a kid's pizza.
I think the last time I went to Pizza Hut, I threw up.
Oh my god, this is so delicious. It's so soft. Wow. Wow, what a treat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.